Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. In fact, the first edition for Motor Cars for the year that is 2016. Let's get right into the action. Starting off with this particular franchise. In fact, the first two stories are all going to be about the trademark situation. Aston Martin has been trademarking a brand new name. It's called Aeroblade. Not for 100% sure if this is about a certain automobile that may be coming down the pike or maybe a new technology that is going to go on said automobile. Again, this is very early in the stages. We may hear about this very quickly, or it may take some time before we find out just what exactly they may have up their sleeve. Situation for General Motors and the Corvette brand, we may know about this a lot quicker. General Motors and Corvette have both trademarked the E-Stingray or E-Ray, which has got a lot of people in the know pointing towards there may be an electrified Corvette, maybe a hybrid setup, maybe a full-on electric version. We'll have to wait and see with this, but with the Detroit Motor Show only a couple of weeks away, we may not have to wait long. Next up on the list, the Ford Motor Company is in the news, hooking up with another group, a group that you all know, it being this, Google. Yes, Google's been working quite heavily on autonomous technology. Ford would like to get in on some of that situation. I really feel that Google really needs a high-end manufacturer that can help them actually produce these automobiles. So it's going to be very interesting. Not for sure how long it's going to take to see what the love child between these two companies is going to be, but I'm assuming it's going to be quite soon. Maybe we may hear a lot more about it coming at the Detroit Motor Show. Next up on the list, Tokyo Auto Salon's only a handful of days away, and Mazda is showing off a pair of concepts. In fact, they've got a fleet of these concepts. The RS Racing concepts, including this new convertible version, excellent looking, a new SUV version. Sadly, this is all we know about these machines. Lowered ride height, big wheels and tires, good looking, red accents. I love these cars. But we don't know anything about what's powering or anything like this. But with the Tokyo Auto Salon only a couple of days away, we'll know something very, very soon. Next up on the list, talking about a franchise that we all know and love, the Top Gear franchise. We're getting very soon to the brand new franchise kicking off in May of 2016, only a handful of months away. And in fact, over the Christmas break, there has been absolutely a ton of news involving this franchise, including two brand new possible presenters. One being this young lady, this Sabine Schmidt. Yes, German Top Gear host. Also, she's been on Top Gear several times. The queen of the Nürburgring, as she's normally known. Race car driver, knows how to handle an automobile quite well. I think she would fit in quite nicely with this group. Interesting to think about what's going to happen with the German Top Gear. Is it going to be over? Are they just going to put in someone else? We'll have to wait and see on that. The U.S. Top Gear has been taping as we speak over the past several weeks, hoping for a probably midsummer, early summer, possibly late spring launch. But that thing will have to wait and see as well. The other presenter that they're looking at is this young fella. You may know this fella, especially from the YouTube world. This is Chris Harris. Chris Harris has been in a ton of different publications, worked for a ton of different magazines, has done a lot of audio and video stuff, especially a lot of YouTube stuff, launching two very successful YouTube automotive programs, including his current one, which is Chris Harris on Cars. In fact, if you haven't seen his programs, they're very well put together, and he is really a guy that's in the know and is inside a lot of these manufacturers. I think he would be a great addition as well. But now let's get back to the kingpin of the Top Gear franchise as of now. It's this young man. It's Chris Evans. Mr. Evans, BBC morning radio host. In fact, that's one of the things the BBC and Mr. Evans apparently been butting heads about. The BBC wants him to quit the morning radio show and focus directly on Top Gear. Mr. Evans wants to keep the radio show, but he also wants bigger control over the Top Gear franchise, which has really meant a lot of butting heads. In fact, Mr. Evans wants to keep that edgy type feel to this show, where they make fun of a lot of races and creeds and ethnicities and even nationalities from all over the globe, just like the last three presenters do. Also, we've heard a lot of rumors that Mr. Evans apparently doesn't like what the two people we talked about earlier, especially because they're quite in the know and quite popular all around the world. He really wants to be the most popular person inside of this franchise. Now, again, a lot of this is what I'm saying. I'm putting a lot of words and a lot of thoughts into Mr. Evans's mind and mouth. Obviously, this is a lot of scuttlebutt. There's a lot of rumors. I'm not saying that Mr. Evans absolutely has said these things or this has been going on, but there has been a lot of grumblings about that, especially from a lot of the UK tabloids, including a lot of butting heads with Top Gear and BBC, and Mr. Evans have been butting heads together quite a bit lately. In fact, so much that a pair of producers have quit the show and have quit the BBC altogether, which has gotten an interesting deal, especially because there's been a lot of rumors too that a lot of the production staff, in fact most of them, knows little to nothing about automobiles, which could be in a terrible situation, especially because they've leaned in quite heavily to the Top Gear magazine side for thoughts on what to look at, what cars to talk about, and what to say about them, which has kind of been straining in that situation as well. Now, this has brought up an interesting situation because a new producer to start on the program is this young man, apparently. This is David Coulthard, Formula One winning racing driver. Interesting situation to put the Scotsman, Mr. Coulthard, inside of this franchise. It was early thought that he's going to be a producer on the show. There's a lot of talk he may be in there in some other capacity. Again, we'll have to wait and see. And again, a lot of these are a lot of rumor mill stuff that has really been battered around the interwebs over the past several weeks. Last up on the list, maybe a little bit happier news. We're going to talk about the McLaren 675 Longtail Spider. Apparently, there is a lot of people that want their open-top motoring high-performance style because in just 2 short weeks, this vehicle completely sold out. So, pretty impressive mark for that McLaren group with a ton of different entities inside of this company with a ton of different variants. It's pretty interesting to see how successful they have been. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. You can go right over there. Check out. We update that twice a day, every day. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.